Hello, welcome to the Business Octopus, where we talk about all things sales, marketing, and technology. And in this episode, I'm Avon Collis, CRM and Marketing Automation Specialist at Relevate, and I'm that also in most all the other episodes. Today, I'm going to be talking through some common questions that we get around technology, marketing, sales. Don't forget that if you have any questions, please ask via the socials or on our website, relevate.com.au. We also have the YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notifications. And also you can go to academy.relevate.com.au for some free learnings, training, etc. We also network with other MarTech professionals, discuss ideas, and help build or help make everybody better. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today was taking direct action, making things, making sort of planned and executable steps towards the main goal. A lot of times people, just sort of go, yep, I'm going to do something. I'm going to just go and make something happen. But without any kind of real strategy or plan, I think it could be really important if you're going to get something to happen that you really sort of map that out. What's the end result that you're trying to achieve? What are the little things along the way that you need to do to get that done? You're not going to just wake up all of a sudden, go to the gym and get abs. You need to plan it out. You need to create regular things. Put it in your calendar that you do one thing every day, or that you have either a set time. It doesn't always have to be in the calendar, but you need to make a good habit of doing something a little bit bigger. And so having those regular goals, those regular things to achieve is really important to be able to make that thing happen. So being able to have abs requires doing a lot of sit-ups. So one example I can give is I've been doing Duolingo. I've been learning a language for the last, I think it's 877 consecutive days. So that is 10 minutes a day. And it's not really that much effort. I usually do it before I go to bed. And it takes about 3 to 5 minutes to complete. Sometimes it takes 10 minutes as suggested. But even just the minimal attempt every day means that now I can pretty much read probably about 70 to 80% of what I see that's in the language that I've chosen. So being deliberate, taking those regular efforts and activities, moving towards the goal is a really, really important way. Really, really important thing to do in order to achieve those goals. One thing I see a massive failing point in a lot of businesses is they might have this lofty goal of achieving X, but along the way they don't plan or they don't anticipate what could go wrong or what issues they're going to have along the way. Ideally, you don't want to kind of get to a point where you're having an issue and then you have to bring in expensive consultants, or you have to do the last minute need this tomorrow kind of thing, because the I need it tomorrow price is a lot more than the I know I need it in 6 months price. So having a plan on what those roadblocks might be, I call it a decision support matrix. And you go, when I have 10 staff, I'm probably going to have some HR problems, in the sense that now I have to monitor, maintain, recruit, do performance appraisals with X amount of people. So it gets a little bit more difficult. You need to be able to have an understanding that when you get to a certain level, you're going to reach an inflection point or a rub point where you need to be able to break through that. So rather than kind of getting there and going, oh, well, what do I do now? And then start digging, try to anticipate as much as possible. Read up on, what the thing you're about to encounter is. Don't go and you don't go jumping across rocks in a pond one at a time. You stand at the edge of the riverbank and you look at the rocks like stepping stones. You go, I'm going to go to that one, then that one, then that one. That one looks a bit iffy, so I've got 2 options here, and then you jump across. So the planning that you need to take before you enter into these issues, concerns, or whatever, is really, really important. And write it down, because it could be that, say, for example, we've got a goal that when we get to a certain head count and when we have a certain revenue, that we're going to change to an ERP system. Now, if you don't have and it might be a cost, and maybe you're doing it before you need to do it, but it's better to do that sort of thing early on before you get, yes, foresight. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Sunray. That foresight is really, really important. That being able to see what's coming down the pipeline before it smacks you in the face can absolutely change the game. And like I was saying before, when you leave it too late, it gets really expensive, because now all of a sudden you've got this time pressure. And, say, for example, hiring your first employee, going from 0 to 1. You are in a small business, you're one person, you're doing all the work. Then all of a sudden you've got lots of staff, you're really, really busy. And then, you can't afford to market anymore. You're spending so much time. So when that next client comes, is done and you've finished, you've then got to go spend all your time looking for that next client whilst having no client. So it's boom bust. But then to get the next employee, now all of a sudden, you generally don't need an employee until you're at 100% capacity or close to it. And when you go, I can afford someone. Now all of a sudden you've got this issue where you've got to be at 100%, but then you've also got to go and do recruitment. You've got to go and find that person. Then you've got to onboard that person, and it might take, a month, 2 months, 3 months before they become really effective, at which point you are at 110%. Now you've got to find the next clients, do the training, and run your part of the operation and grow the business. So take that into consideration. And I would be, from day one, starting to use things like this, record my screen, talk about how we do things in the business, do it in real time when you're dealing with the customer, have that stored away. So by the time someone comes on, they can watch those videos and then go and be effective on day 1 or day 3 instead of, day 97. So having that foresight and that thinking ahead, doesn't matter whether that's a small scale or a large scale. Obviously, it has much more impact when it's a large scale. You might go, I need to, we're just kind of managing stock by feel. Maybe you've got, a lounge room full of stock, or you've progressed to a warehouse, and you go, well, we're kind of getting low on that. We'll buy some more. All of a sudden, you're gonna get to a point where you're double ordering. Things are starting to fall apart, and those mistakes can cost money depending on the cost of the stock that you've got. That could be anything from $50 to $50,000 to $500,000. Imagine if you accidentally have the wrong amount of phones at $1,000 a pop, and you sell 50 phones to 2 different people, but you only got 50 in stock. So that might be an issue where you've got a planning, and there's lots of variations of phones as an example. So having a understanding of not only the impact that is facing your business imminently, but in 1 year, in 3 year, in 5 year, you've got to be able to look at other businesses in your industry and see problems that they've had. Try to identify those problems and think, how would I do it differently? What were the roadblocks that stopped me or stopped similar businesses at that point? Talk to competitors, talk to suppliers. A lot of them have these insights. They can help you understand what's coming down the pipeline, so that by the time you get there, it's not a surprise. You don't really need to try and figure out what to do, because ideally you'll have a risk mitigation strategy. You'll have a plan, a decision support matrix, where if this becomes an issue, I'm going to do option A, B, or C, and these are the justifications for them. Because when you're in the moment, not only are you faced with the time pressure, you've probably got some emotive pressure. You've just lost 50 grand by a mistake that's happened. Now you need to go and fix an inventory problem. So instead of addressing it last minute, under pressure, already frustrated, with less time to be able to read into the problem and really research your options, you might make the wrong decision and then cost up a whole lot more money. Or maybe you invest in that when you should have invested in this. Doing that research is critical. So that's how to save a whole bunch of time, money, energy, frustration, all of those things. If you like what we're talking about here today, basically I run this live stream as often as I can, generally every Friday around about 1:30. So if we will be moving that back to 2 p.m. From now on. So 2 p.m. on Friday, we'll be doing this live stream. If you've got comments, questions, please add them in the chat. We really appreciate the feedback, and it also allows us to answer you. If you would like to, if you're watching this on the replay, you can still add the comments. You can still hit us up on relevate.com.au and send a message through the comments. Please like, subscribe, and follow us on YouTube. That's where we've got most of our videos, most of our guides, how-tos, etc. Otherwise, you have a fantastic weekend. Thank you for watching, and take care.